up guys, Brandon Johnson here again, and thanks for joining me. Today we're doing a lesson on the old-time classic tune, Shady Grove. So in this lesson, I wanted to cover a little bit more of a complex version of Shady Grove, but I just wanted to give you kind of a foundation of how to cross-pick the melody, also to give you ideas to expand on in your own playing, because if you play this song enough times, especially in a live setting, you're going to want to change it up, and you're going to end up changing it up over time just to make it more interesting, for yourself and for the audience as well. But it's just, it's a classic tune. It's a great tune to know. So I hope you enjoy this one, and let's check it out. Well, let's take a look at Shady Grove now, this classic old-time tune. And on this one, we're going to kind of concentrate on a little bit more of the cross-picking in the lead section here. So in the beginner lesson, you may have learned just kind of the notes, the individual notes to the lead part. And in this lesson, we're going to kind of expand on those a little bit, and we're going to add a little bit of cross-picking in there and a little bit of complexity into the melody here. So when we look at measure number 1, of course, we're starting on a downstroke on that open D. And then we're going to do a little bit of a cross-picking here over the D minor chord shape. So that 2nd fret G and 3rd fret B. And you'll see that double downstroke there. So it's going to be down, down, up. And you'll see a little bit more cross-picking there. So we're actually we're jumping from the 3rd fret B to the open A. So we're going to go for an upstroke on the 3rd fret B to a downstroke on the open A, and then an upstroke on the 2nd fret G and a downstroke on the open D. And keep in mind that first open D there on that downstroke, that's going to be on an 8th note. So there's going to be a slight pause before we get into that cross-picking pattern. And then again, that open D on a downstroke at the end of that pattern there, that's also going to be on an 8th stroke. So there's a slight pause before we get into kind of the second half here of measure number 1. So of course, we're just hitting that C chord there, and we're actually playing the C chord shape, but we're cross-picking it, so we're playing it using individual notes. Okay, let's play measure number 1 now, all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that leads us into measure number 2. Okay, when we look at measure number 2 now, you'll see that it starts out exactly the same as measure number 1, or at least the first 3 notes are going to be exactly the same on that double downstroke. And then we're going to go into what is kind of a walk-up into an F major chord shape here. So when we land on that 2nd fret G, you'll see that there's an F chord there. And I kind of like to just play this F major triad here, which is sort of an F major 7 triad, technically. But we're not going to be playing the open E, so it just kind of makes it an F major triad. So you'll see we're kind of cross-picking over that F major triad there. All right, let's play measures 1 and 2 all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that leads us into measure number 3. Okay, when we look at measure number 3 now, we're starting on a hammer-on from the open G to 2nd fret G. And this is over the F major chord shape here, so I actually tend to kind of plant my index finger on that 1st fret B. And we play the hammer-on, and then an upstroke on that 1st fret B after an 8th note on the 2nd fret G. And then we get into that C major chord there. We're going to play over that C major chord from the open G to the 2nd fret G to the open G. And we're going to land on that 3rd fret A, which is the root note of the C major chord. And then we're just going to cross pick 2nd fret D and open G while we're holding that C major chord. Okay, let's play this 3rd measure now, all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, that leads us into measure number 4. All right, when we look at measure number 4 now, we're starting with a hammer-on again, except this time we're starting with a hammer-on the D string from the open D to the 2nd fret D. And that's because we're playing over a C chord here, so you can play this out of your C chord shape. We're going to do some more cross-picking there. You'll see that double downstroke again. And then right here, you're going to see a pull-off on the G string 2nd fret to open. And then 2nd fret D on an 8th note, so there's a slight pause there before we go into the D minor chord. So that's going to be our D minor chord. And again, we're playing the melody over Shady Grove here, but you know, a lot of times we're holding the chord shapes, or at least part of the chord shapes. And that's just to give yourself kind of a reference point, you know, as far as what chord you're on. And you can also, it also allows you to cross pick a little bit easier if you just kind of think about it in terms of these chord shapes. Right, so we're really riffing off of that open D right there at the end, over that D minor chord. Okay, let's play measures 3 and 4 now, all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's play the entire melody for Shady Grove, measures 1 through 4, and you'll see the repeat sign at the end there. So what we'll do is we'll play the entire melody twice. So we'll repeat it all the way through to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4.